going on, y'all? It's your boy 3 Stacks, and check it out. Alright, so first, I just want to say, this deck is so stupid, it doesn't even make sense. It does not make any sense at all. This deck is just broken. First, you guys know how I am. I've said this a million times probably by now. Before I try a crazy new deck idea, I look it up. So what I did was I looked on YouTube and Google, and I looked up True King, True Draco, Zoodiac. Like all in one deck. I couldn't find any videos on it at all. I couldn't find not a single deck profile, period. Not one. Look it up myself if you think I'm lying. And because I couldn't find one, I decided that I wanted to showcase this deck. I always want to try new stuff. This was a deck I did that I had for a while, but I didn't have access to the True Draco cards, which you guys know I just recently got. So, in my opinion, True Dracos, Zoodiacs, and also any True King variant that can spam calamities are the 3 best decks in this current format. And it is very true. True King dinos might be a thing, you know, the dinos, blah, 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 blah. But the main thing that makes the dinos so powerful is the True Kings in them because they have access to calamities. Without calamities, they're just an ultimate conductor tyranno dot deck. And that's really the truth. So True Kings, Zoodiacs, and also True Dracos are the best decks of the format. Funny thing, very similar to how Evil Swarms and Constellars were. You guys know I'm also a hidden arsenal advocate. Evil Swarms and Constellars, and how Satellar Knights and Shaddolls were. These are natural mortal enemies, and they fit the artwork and the theme and the lore behind them are awesome. So True Dracos are the natural enemies of the True Kings. True Kings are the bad guys, and the Dracos are actually the good guys, the fighters, the dudes that fight, you know, the bad guys. And we all know that Masterpiece can have some problems dealing with True Kings, and it's very true. Now, we all know that he can target calamities and pop them, but if he can't, calamities just runs him over. In addition to that, these 2 cards have extremely high ceiling by themselves. Having them both in the same deck, it increases your ceiling on an immense scale. It's incredibly powerful. You can just set up with your board of True King, True Draco Masterpiece, and Calamities. And what? It's so stupid. If you need to, you can link summon for your Decode Talker and have your Drident, your Masterpiece, and your Calamities, the 3 boss monsters of the deck, which is really, really powerful. So I love the way this deck flows. And without further ado, I'm going to state one more thing before I hop into the deck profile. This is completely original. Not one day in my life have I ever net decked, and I never will. I hate net decking. In my opinion, I really despise and don't respect anyone who net decks. You need to think for yourself and find your own ways to play a deck. So I am sharing this idea with you guys, but if you see it afterwards and if it becomes a thing, remember it came from your boy 3 Stacks, and obviously because it's my original idea, I can play it better than anybody could because I know what it actually does. You know, I did it on my own. So if you guys do want to try this deck out, I just ask that you add in your own spicy text, throw in your own creative spin on the deck because it is very, very powerful just as it is how I have it built. But just remember, don't take credit for my hard work because I do a lot of crazy stuff. And I realize that some people really do try to, you know, jock my style. And you can try to jock it all day, but for the subscribers that I have that know how I am, you guys know that this comes from my insane brain and mine alone. So let's hop into this deck profile. First and foremost, we are playing 2 copies of Masterpiece. In my True Draco Pure build, I was running 3 Masterpiece. 2 Masterpiece, let's check the camera out, perfect. Works beautifully in this deck because it is not focused mainly on Masterpiece. Masterpiece is just an alternative win condition, and it's so difficult to try to out and Calamities and a Masterpiece, in addition to having the True King back rows to support you, and you have a complete and total follow-up play with your Zoodiac engine at any given time. You can drop and normal summon any zoo and just go ham, like just go completely ballistic. It is just so insane. We are also playing 3 copies of Lithosagum. So the True Kings, like I said, True Kings and also True Dracos are natural enemies. I need to grab something really fast. So they are natural enemies. Like these two archetypes, they fight each other. I'm running 3 Lithosagum because honestly, you guys know that I'm playing Zoodiacs in this deck. So Lithosagum has so many targets. And also a cool little combo that you can actually perform is use your Lithosagum to pop your Zoodiac Ram and, you know, trigger that off, which is really cool. It's just food for thought and something that you can do, and it's pretty awesome how you can do it. So I just felt that 3 Lithosagum works perfectly in this deck, absolutely perfectly. He's the most live all the time, and Lithosagum is really, really broken. He also can revive any non-earth worm type from the grave, so he's the monster reborn of the deck. Honestly, he is. In addition to that, I am playing 2 copies of Barastos the Fathomer, 3 Lithosagum the Disaster, and 2 Barastos the Fathomer. This guy's my second favorite. His effect is so clutch to summon from the deck. Obviously, if you open with the diagram and you open with Fathomer, you have instant calamities on board. Really cool. And something interesting is you can actually special summon your Dracos if you want to, but I never do. It's just food for thought. Some cool things that you can do with this deck. It's just really awesome how the engines flow together. And one Agni Mizzou. Now, cool thing is you have attribute targets for all of these True Kings. You have waters in the form of Knuckles. You have fires in the form of Ignis Heat, and you also have earths for your Zodiacs. So the deck flows so beautifully and so perfectly. And having True Kings just increases your ceiling. Now, what am I saying? True Dracos by themselves are kind of a linear deck. Like they get boring for me. Me personally, I love crazy, overwhelming, spicy, creative decks. You guys know how I am. So True Dracos just don't fit my playstyle. I'm not that kind of domain monarch bull, douchebag. I'm not really like with that. Now, I am a Herald of Perfection player, so I do play anti-meta, but I like decks that require a certain skill level to play, and this deck does. Now, we were talking about pure True Dracos. Now, we go into True Draco Zodiacs, which is actually one of the best decks because it's a hybrid of two of the best decks. True Dracos are one of the best, and Zodiacs are one of the best, and playing them two in the same deck increases your ceiling. It does. Indeed, it does. Having the full-fledged Zodiac combo in addition to Masterpiece, and having Masterpiece and Drident can be a problem. But the crazy thing about this deck is it has the True Draco spice. It has the full power of True Dracos. It has everything that Zodiacs can give you, including the Mrs. Radiant Link monster when we get that out. This deck will be able to make it. In addition to that, it has access to the True King engine, and it also can make calamities. So this deck has an edge over any True Draco Zoos. So naturally, True Draco Zoos should not be able to beat this deck. But we all know that nothing is impossible. But this deck is far more overpowered and far more broken than any old, standard True Draco Zoo. And another reason why I didn't want to showcase you guys True Draco Zodiac just by themselves is because, what do I say all the time? I hate doing it if somebody's already done it, because I don't want to take credit for somebody else's work. And when I do my deck profiles, it's all my ideas. So why would I make a True Draco Zodiac deck and then, say what I say? Because honestly, when I build my decks, I don't look for any guides. I just build it based off of the cards that I have. You guys saw my True King Yang Zins as I built them without diagrams. It was kind of like a budget deck, and I built it with the cards that I had. And that's how I do all my decks. I don't need, anybody's help really. And I'm not saying that, I'm all that. I'm saying I'd rather learn how to play the deck by myself versus net decking somebody card for card and not even knowing the full potential of the deck because I'm jockeying somebody else's idea. So back to the True Kings. This is insane. Just this engine of 6 cards, it indeed does increase your ceiling, and it just enables you to perform so many cool combos. Masterpiece also being a level 9 himself, if you bring him back from the grave off of your True King's return, you can overlay him next turn with one of your True Kings and still go into calamities. It's just really broken, and having access to calamities is dank. It's like freeze up your opponent, no effects, no attacks, and you have Masterpiece to pop. It's stupid. It's so stupid. And if you just so happen to link summon, you'll have Masterpiece and Drident to pop, and you'll have calamities to skill drain and freeze. Like, those 3 boss monsters are so problematic. A Ghost Ogre and a Kaiju is not getting you anywhere against this deck. Moving forward, so those are the boss monsters. I actually am going to leave them. Can you see this? You can kind of see it. I'm going to leave them kind of like back here. So continuing with the True Draco stuff, because I kind of just talked a bit too long, but I did want to explain you guys my reason for playing this deck. And again, it's 100% original. Everybody that knows me outside of the Yu-Gi-Oh community, just, being good friends with me, know I've always been the same with decks. I've always been like this crazy, like, let's just see if it works kind of dude. Like, I built so many decks that turned out to be broken decks that happened to turn into a bandwagon or a trend that I didn't think it was going to work. I just built it to see if it would work. And if it doesn't work, I take it down and try a different variant. But this variant worked. It worked, and I did not want to show you guys, pure True Draco Zoo. Now, I could honestly take out the True Kings and just showcase a whole nother deck profile and be cheap with it and say, here's True Draco Zoo for you. But I'm positive that you guys are tired of seeing pure Dracos and True Draco Zodiac, and I'm sure you guys are tired of seeing pure Zoo. Those decks, they're kind of getting played out. We all know what they do. You guys don't know what True King, True Draco Zodiac does. You don't. You have an idea, but you really don't know what it does. A double Ignis Heat, so broken. I really wish I could play this guy at 3, but the problem was space issues, and I felt that between all the True Draco monsters that I run, Knuckles was honestly the most important. He has the most longevity, just because he gets you straight to your return, which is very important if you want to be able to summon your Masterpiece. And sometimes you can tribute summon for your true kings, you know, and protect them. It's just so many different ways that you can enable this guy's effect and get a plus off of it. But yeah, this guy basically lets you make masterpiece in your opponent's turn, because it's really not gonna be the business. It's not the business sometimes to make masterpiece going first, because if your opponent does have a kaiju or an out, he's gonna drop it right away. But if you wait and put pressure on the board with your knuckles, your opponent may kaiju something else, for example, your calamities, and then you can summon True Draco Masterpiece in the middle of your opponent's main phase, disrupt his plays, disrupt his chain links, pop, and then go off on your turn. So I'm playing 2 heat. I'm not saying that he's bad and you should play him at 2. You should play him at 3 if you have the space. So if you want to, you know, try this deck out for yourself, please don't net deck me. Try to make it a little different from my deck. But if you want to try it out yourself, try and fit 3 Ignis Heats, because he's definitely worth the, you know, he's worth the space in your deck. But having so many different engines in this deck, I just had to find space for everything. So that sums up the True Draco and also the True King portion of the deck. Now, I'm still going to showcase you guys my True King, True Draco, Yang Zing deck. That's something I'm showing you guys. In my video for my True Kings, my undefeated video that I showed you guys, I told you I was going to show you 12, I repeat, 12 different ways to play True Dracos. 2 of the ways, I'm sorry, 2 of the ways you guys have already seen, which are True Draco Zodiacs, and, no, 3 of them, True Draco Zodiacs, Pure True Draco, and True Draco Metaphos Cosmos. So the third one, the Metaphos Cosmo thing, I'm going to do something completely different and throw you guys off on that build. And I'm going to show you guys something like it with Cosmos in it. That's the only thing that I really wanted to do, is just have the Cosmos. But I'm going to show you guys all my ideas that I have for True Dracos. And again, they were all my ideas. The 3 that have been tried before that aren't my ideas. I never came up with Pure True Dracos. I never came up with, you know, Zodiac True Dracos, and I never ever came up with the Metaphos Cosmo Zoo. The Metaphos Cosmo True Draco deck is actually an OCG deck that the TCG copied and stole from them. But anyways, the other variations are completely original, coming from my brain. And some of them might seem bricky to you guys, but again, they're all, you know, they're my innovation anyway. So it's just stuff that I want to try. You don't have to try it out. Moving forward to the Zoo engine, 2 Ratatouilles, 4 Ratatouilles. You just have to play it. Since Ratatouille's at 3, I'm sorry, since he's at 3. Psych, we wish. Since he's at 2, you definitely have to play 2 copies of Ratatouille, in addition to the 2 Ratatouilles that you play. I nicknamed all my Zoos. You guys know that I've been playing Zoos for quite some time, and I've also incorporated it into my Hero to Perfection deck, increasing its ceiling and its potential to draw fairies, and also to just loop resources and get rid of cards with Drident instead of negating with Herald. But anyways, we also played 2 copies of the Queen of Snakes, which I call Queen Cobra. She's really lit. I think it's a girl. I really do. So I call her Queen Cobra and not King Cobra. And also 1 Pocket Knife. I nicknamed this guy Pocket Knife when I built my Invoked Zodiac deck. And to this day, I've called Thoroughblade Pocket Knife. You can definitely play him at 2. And, you know, some people, I've seen that, like some pure Zodiac players tend to play 2/3 of Thoroughblade, of course, because that's pure, you know, it's pure Zodiac. You have a lot of Zodiac discard outlets. Now, the way I loop my 1 Pocket Knife is through my Ram, which I call aka Baby Ratatouille or Ratatouille Jr. You can just instantly, like, even in the battle phase, you can spam this guy right off of your chakanine. Enter battle phase, you know, attack with whatever you have. Attack with your Ram, aka Baby Ratatouille. Activate Drident's effect. Destroy your Baby Ratatouille Ram's effect activates. It's still battle phase. Special summon the 1 Pocket Knife you have from the graveyard. Use his effect, discard, draw, and then swing with him again. And, you know, if you have Whip Tails, activate your Whip Tails. Really, really clutch. So that's the way I, you know, take advantage of only playing 1 of my Pocket Knife. I just loop him with Chakanine and Ram, and also Tiger Mortar. So it's just really, really cool. Even though you're playing 1, it's so easy to use. And I just did not want to play 8 Zoos. I didn't want to go 2-2-2-2-2. Even though I feel like I should be playing 3 Queen Cobra. She is honestly the MVP. Queen Cobra beatdown is real, especially playing against my Yang Zing deck. You obviously want to banish the Yang Zing so they don't get to float. So I feel she's very, very important, but it was a space thing. And again, that's the only reason why I'm playing 1 Pocket Knife and not 2. Even though I do play a fair amount of Zeus, I just play the 7, which is perfect for me. And honestly, the main ones you're going to be using are actually just Whiptail and Ratatouille. Ram's always going to get popped to go into another one. And this guy, he just really helps you to basically unbreak your hands. For example, if you draw a Tinky and a Barrage, you know, you already have your rat combo off of that 1 Barrage. And, you know, the Tinky is a plus. So you might want to just activate the Tinky, for example, and then save the Barrage and discard it for Durblade. or if you happen to draw into an extra Zoodiac, if you went into your combo and made your Daigusto Emeral, for example, dude, like if you draw another Zoodiac after you went Zoodiac combo in Emeral, you're gonna be pissed, and I would be pissed too. So that's what the pocket knife is really clutch for, and the piercing damage never hurt. So that sums up the monsters. No hand traps, none at all. You can play hand traps all you want. You can play Ghost Ogres, Ghost Ash, Draw and Unlock Birds. You can play Maxi. I have Maxi right here. So you guys don't think that I'm crazy. I am crazy. I'm crazy. I'm telling you guys, I'm freaking crazy. The way I do my decks, I just don't do it like other people. You can play Maxis. You can play Draw and Unlock Birds. You can play Ghost Ash. You can play Ghost Ogre. You can play any of those hand traps. They're great. I'm not saying that they're bad cards. They help you to play going second. Why do I not play them? I have my reasons, and I can't share them with you because I'm just a different Yu-Gi-Oh duelist. I'm not like a lot of people that you see. You know, I'm just not going to play the hand traps. I'm not saying that they're bad. I just feel that if I draw them going first, they're not really that good. And sometimes I don't get that much value out of a Ghost Ogre. Like, you can Ghost Ogre your opponent or Ghost Ash your opponent, and they fulfill their combo off of a Shuffle Reborn or just another combo extender or the second diagram that you didn't know they had. They open Terraforming Diagram. You've wasted that card, and now your opponent has made his complete entire board, and that one hand trap could have been the fulfillment of your combo, the missing combo piece you have. That is just my opinion in theory. You do not have to take my word for it. You can play hand traps. But remember, do not take it like, oh, you're not playing hand traps because they're bad. No, they're good cards. I just choose not to play them. I don't have to. Obviously, it's my deck anyways. Moving forward, 3 double Ds because diagram is broken. And obviously, you have so many different ways to abuse this. Popping your true Draco back row, for example, your disciples, your heritage, your return, or your apocalypse to get their effect engraved to pop another after you search. Popping your true kings like your Lithosagam, or even your Fathomer to make an instant calamity. If you pop Lithosagam, it works too if you have a true king engraved. It's just instant. Or even if you have a masterpiece, you can pop Lithosagam off of diagram, special masterpiece, and then search, your other true king, bring it out from your hand, and then overlay into calamities. So, you have instant calamities with any true king. Basically, if you already have a true king in hand and diagram, which I call double Ds, big titties, you have instant calamities. And of course, we all know how pure true Draco synergizes with it. You just pop the back row, trigger its effect. For example, heritage, MST, the, solemn strike. And then, go off with your diagram and search for your masterpiece. But also, you have the Ram combo. Now, I am not playing the Zephyros, the Elite, that combo with 4 Strix. I'm not saying it's bad. Again, my deck is not like other true Draco Zoo decks. So if you guys are mad because you don't see hand traps, you can get out the video and go find a true Draco Zoo deck that has hand traps and watch it because you want to see those hand traps that bad. But I'm not doing it like anybody's done it, and I think that's one of the main reasons why a lot of my subscribers stick to watching my channel, because they know we don't do things like anybody else. And that's one of that's one of my beneficial accoutrements. It's my niche. That's, the category I fit. Innovation. So, of course, we're playing 6 copies of double Ds. Don't look at the ugly terraforming. Pay attention to the shiny ones. Pay attention to these. Pay attention. Let's check my camera. Booyah. So, of course, we're playing 6 double Ds. So, I told you guys, you synergize with your Zoos by popping your Ram. You synergize with your True Kings by popping any one of them. You synergize with your True Dracos by popping the back rows. That's how you get the most value out of all 3 engines. So, as you can imagine, diagram is icing on the cake because it puts the engines together and wraps them up in a Christmas present and says, hey, good game. It's really, really broken. I love the way the deck flows. It's just so lit. Moving forward with more spells. So, let's move my double Ds. In fact, I want to put my terraformings like under my diagrams. So we'll do it like that because I'm going to put all my spells in rows. I'm going to try to get it organized. It's part of presentation on my videos. It's just how I like to do it. All right, so let's get these fitted. All right, sorry you guys can barely see the diagrams, but they're up there. I just showed you. And moving forward, we are playing 3 copies of Bay Raj. Now, this is Bay, obviously. It's really, really broken. This enables you to still go into Zoo without ever normal summoning, of course, so you can still resolve all your combos. But the super funny thing is, with True Dracos, is it doesn't matter if you normal rat. If you normal Ratatouille, you can activate Disciples or Heritage and Brilliant Fusion, again, Brilliant Fusion, and normal summon again. So it really doesn't matter. But Barrage is definitely an overextender, and it starts off a combo, and it also is great Ghost Ogre bait. So that's why I feel, in my opinion, that hand traps are not very good. You guys have never really seen me play hand traps except in a few of my other variants of Invoked Zoodiac and my pure Invoked Wind Witch my Pure Invoked Wind Witch artifact build, which I made like 4 months ago when it first came out. I ran Ghost Ogres in that and Max C. I ran like, I think double Ghost Ogre, and when Max C was at 2, I ran double Max C. I'm not saying hand traps are bad. I'm just doing something different. Now, I theorized this far. If I was playing against this deck, which is not even out in the meta right now, this is not a deck to beat. You don't even see True King, True Dino, True King, True Draco, Zoodiacs in the top 10 cut. You see one of the 3, but these are 3 of the best in one, which is, again, that's the reason why I want to do this deck, because it's every single relevant meta deck in one. I know you guys haven't seen my channel, post a lot of relevant meta decks. I do a lot of anti-meta douchebag stuff, but that's because I love to show love to decks that people don't even realize their potential until I make a deck and revive it. Like, I've revived so many decks that people thought were dead. Then they found my channel and found a build that was relevant and were like, wow, I can play this in the meta. So that's what I do a lot of, but I noticed that a lot of people were asking, like, where are your meta decks? And I wanted to let you guys know, of course I have meta decks. I just play anti-meta. But again, that's my theory with it. Having the Zoodiacs, the True Kings, and the True Dracos, you have the 3 best decks in one deck. Dinos are not all that. They're whatever. I mean, you Mirror Force and you win, basically. And also, in addition to the Bay Routes, we're playing 2 copies of Tinky. Now, I really need to pull out my 3rd Tinky just so you guys don't think, oh, you're playing 2 Tinkies because you only have 2. I am playing 2 Tinkies because it bricks on me. Personally, I hate to draw a Tinky, a Barrage, and a Rat. That is horrible. That is so horrible. That is just like not a game-winning hand because you can only do so much now in Link format with your Zoo combo, and you can only overlay once. So you're going to have to hard summon some stuff, like hard summon that daggone bbull. Like, dude, so I feel that Tinky, like Bayraj, is an overextender. Honestly, my Zoos are kind of part of my, it's either going to be my first push, or sometimes, my first push is going to be True Kings and the Dracos. And if they out it, my Zoos are the greatest recovery play ever because I recover off of 1 card, literally just 1. So I can overextend and overcommit every single resource except for this 1 Tinky or the 1 Barrage, leave it in my hand, and try and see if my opponent can play through my board. And if he finds a way to play through it, he'll be low on resources himself, and then I'll come back off of that 1 card because Zoodiacs are good for 1 card combos. So that's why sometimes I don't always make Zoos my first push. I know some people do it that way, but I do it like vice versa. It's 50-50. Zoos aren't always my first push. But yeah, I only play the 2 Tinkies. It's not because it's a bad card, but it's just brick hands. If you play 3 Tinkies, 3 Barrage, and the full Zoo combo, you understand the pain that sometimes it's going to happen, and it's not going to be sometimes. It's going to be, a pretty high chance, like a 35% chance that you're going to drop Tinky, Barrage, and Rat. So that's my reason for playing 2. Food for thought, this is a continuous spell, so it is also... it's not only Masterpiece food, but it's also tribute fodder for, your True Dracos, even your Masterpiece. You can activate Tinky, for example, and search for a Whiptail, put it under your Drident, and then tribute your Tinky to normal summon your Ignis Heat. Just food for thought, some stuff you can do. So Tinky and Barrage are also 5 additional outlets for Masterpiece, because sometimes you don't want to banish your True Draco, your return or your heritage. You want to put it back with Disciples, especially after you resolve my next spell, which I played 3 of, Pot of Desires. I played 3 copies of the sauce. It's such a broken card. It's either a combo extender, it's a hand fixer to make your combos live. Like if you drew everything but that 1 card, like if you're like, man, I have everything but a diagram, this can help you get to it. Now, I played 3 of every relevant card. Now, again, I'm going to say this one more time. If I happen to banish both my Masterpieces, or if I happen to banish my entire Draco engine, I'm not going to lose this game because I have Zoodiacs, and I have True Kings, I have Calamities, I have everything I need. And need I mind you that the True Draco back rows actually synergize with the True Kings. So I can play True Kings Dracos without any Masterpiece, any Knuckles, or any Ignis Heat, and just go off with the True Kings and keep using my Disciples of the Draco Phoenix, recycling my Kings back into my deck and spamming them from the graveyard off of return and just going off. So Desires is just too good at this deck. I played at 3 because I absolutely want to see it first turn. I absolutely want to see it because I'm able to search out everything I need, and I want to activate this to make sure that I get my overextender. I want to make sure I get my safety backup play, my safety percussive measure, that just in case this somehow unbreakable board gets broken, which happens sometimes. And I know I'm saying unbreakable, but it really does happen. What you think is an unbreakable board gets broken. AKA raw spear mode. That's why I play it. Honestly, it breaks the most unbroken boards, the most unbreakable boards. But yeah, that's why I play this at 3. I feel that it's just too good of a card to not play. You can play that 2. You can play that none. Honestly, if you build this deck, I can't tell you how to build your deck. That is something that the Yu-Gi-Oh community needs to understand. You cannot tell a grown man what to do with his belongings. If somebody bought it and paid the money for it, they can do whatever they want with it. You can play One Desires. I can't get mad at you and say, dude, you're stupid. Why are you playing One Desires? He can turn around and say, it's my deck. You can build it how you want. And I don't mean to be rude, but I do say it like this. If you guys are not satisfied with the ratios that I play, I feel that if you're able to, just build the deck yourself and try it at the ratio that you think works, and you tell me if it works. And if it works for you, good. But me personally, this is how I like to play my deck. I'm also playing 3 copies of Heritage. These are just the draw mark cards. This deck, every spell in this deck is broken. Every single spell is broken. Every single spell is like, it just gets you the combos. Like Desires can be a 1-card combo. Obviously, Tinky and Barrage are 1-card combos. Heritage and also my Disciples, which I played 2 Disciples. There's no real like reasons for playing 3 in this deck. And it's not because it's a bad card. It's just because you don't always need to recycle your resources, and at the same time, you don't always want to open up with more than one of each of these. Like, Heritage would be the only exception for a combo that I'm getting ready to show you guys later on, but I'm playing 2 Disciples, and honestly, you can use 1 Disciples to recycle the other, and then you'll always have an access to the other one if somehow it gets Cosmic Cyclone or whatever. But it works so perfectly at 2. You can play 3. Obviously, I have 3 right here. I can play 3 if I want, but this is just my choice and my ratios. So I'm playing 3 Heritage and 2 Disciples, and it works so perfectly. They're draw cards, and they also, you know, overextend with Brilliant Fusion. That's what I just call Brilliant Fusion. Extra Normal Summon, Double Ds, Pop It, Pop. And it's just really, really cool because they have their own effects also. So I just love them. Draw more, search more. Barrage is just... Barrage sometimes can be an out. Like, if you know your opponent's going to be opening up a diagram, this is going to make sure that diagram never goes off. So this spell is just so universal. It's so versatile. It does more than just, you know, the Zoo combo, because Drident is that skillful of a card. Drident just does so much. It's not about the pop a card. The card that you pop, it can be very, very relevant. So I feel that Barrage is just too good. You have to play it. You just have to play it. Obviously, you have to play the diagrams in the deck. So that sums up the spells. Now the traps get a little spicy. Not the True King and the True Draco stuff, but the last 2 traps I'm going to show you. So I'm playing 3 copies of Return and also 2 copies of Apocalypse. Similar to the ratio with the 3 Heritage and the 2 Draco Phoenix, the True Disciples of the Draco Phoenix. I feel that this is a much more powerful trap, and Apocalypse, most of the time I'm going to be using it for its effect to summon on my opponent's turn. The only other time it'll be clutch is if there's something that you actually can't beat over. And it's a rare occasion in this deck because you have Whiptail beatdown, you can, you know, Pocket Knife, and then put a Zoodiac at 4,000 attack. And, you know, if it's still not enough, like you have Tinky for the extra 100. Obviously, you can put Masterpiece at 3,250. You can summon your True King Calamities at 3,300. This deck has tons of firepower, but if you somehow, some way can't get over something, you can use Apocalypse's effect to half the attack. So that's why I play that too. It's kind of just like an additional combo overextender. Because, you know, if your opponent Cosmic Cyclones your True King's Return, then you can flip up Apocalypse and still summon your Masterpiece on your opponent's turn. So it does help a lot, but I did not want to maximize on it for this particular build because this is not a pure True Draco deck. And the last trap, woo! Okay, this is another combo I came up with, and I showed you guys it actually in my very first update of my True King Yangzings when we got all the True Kings. It's not my very first update. My first build on my True King Yangzings was like, I don't even know how long. It was like a year ago. I think like a year ago. It was whenever Dark Illusions came out, and I think Dark Illusions came out a year ago. But it was just with 3 of him, and that was kind of boo-boo. It wasn't that good. But anyways, my very first update on my True King Yangzings when I got all 4 of them, you know, the 3 Lithosagums, you know, the True Draco Phoenix, and the Barastos, and the Agni Mazud. I was running these for a while. I think you guys noticed that I took them out, and I took them out for a bunch of different reasons, but I came up with this combo with this, and when Maximum Crisis came out, it just made it more broken. So I'm going to share this with you guys. Share it with your friends, you know, but remember, this came from 3 stacks and no one else. I promise you, no one else. You can look up this combo right now on YouTube. You're not going to find it. But anyway, so Waterfall of Dragon Souls can add a worm-type monster from your deck to your hand, or you can send any number of worm types from your hand and or your field, both, to the graveyard to draw that number of cards plus 1. So this is like you can think of it like an upstart because it fixes your hand and then you still get to plus off of it. So it's never a neg. Now, we play true kings and true Dracos in this deck. So let's say, for example, we have let's say like we have an Ignis Heat. And we summoned our, we activated Diagram and we got our Lithosagum and we popped Barastos, the Fathomer, and summoned the Agni Mazud, right? So, and let's say also, for example, because this is your field, that we've used the effect of, let's say, another True Draco Heritage or a Phoenix, you know, to tribute summon. And let's say we set it, and that's how we got out our Ignis Heat. I'm just stacking, right? I'm just stacking. So this trap has an insane combo with Heritage where you activate this, right? So in addition to all the True King and True Draco cards that you sent from the field to the grave, for example, obviously, the only way you got out Ignis Heat was by tributing a True King or True Draco trap, or a spell or trap. So if you set Heritage, tribute it, and you summon Ignis Heat, you're already going to be able to draw one card off of this. You activate your Waterfall of Dragon Souls. You send 1, 2, 3 True King or True Draco monsters from your field, not your hand, from your field, because you want to use this effect, to the graveyard. Now this has 4. And you're going to draw 4 cards, right? You're going to draw 3 for these 3 cards off of this one trap and an additional. So now you have 4 fresh cards in your hand. Then you're going to activate the effect of Heritage and draw 4 more cards. And now you have 8 cards. How many? 8 cards off of that 2-card combo. And I say it's a 2-card combo because this deck runs just True Kings and also True Dracos. So basically any monster that's not a Zoodiac is going to be live with this trap. And I played 2 of it and not 3 because it's not an extremely relevant combo. It's just an overextender and it's a comeback play. This also works in battle phase if your opponent's getting ready, you know, like attack all your monsters and trying to sack you. Or let's say they're trying to board wipe you. They're trying to Raigeki Dark Hole you. You can chain this trap. Instead of your monsters being destroyed, you can send them to the graveyard, you know, just to draw off of it. You don't have to, but you can do it, you know, and just to get more value because it's like they're going to the grave anyways. You can either say, I want the grave effect of Lithosagum, which is that one effect. This effect is not very relevant, so you can get that one effect. I want that one special summon, or I want to draw 4 cards and make your Raigeki miss timing because there's no cards to destroy. And, you know, I draw 4 cards now, and Heritage is just stupid. So this it's a broken combo. Need I mind you also, in any mirror match when you're playing True Dracos or True Kings, this stacks. It's for the field period, so you can even attack over your opponent's True Draco monsters or even True Kings. To put more, you know, basically to put more counters on it. It doesn't have counters. It doesn't get spell counters, but I'm just saying counters because I don't know what else to call it. Just add to its effect to draw the most, you know, the most cards you can get. So Heritage is actually the most broken spell in this deck because of the potential that it has. Where, you know, you can draw more cards off of this than you could ever off of Demise or Duality or, I said Duality, off of Demise or Desires or, you know, any Zoodiac combo. Like, it's just, this is broken. And the only way you make it more broken is if you play Waterfall of Dragon Souls and use its effect to draw and not to search. It is versatile because sometimes you can search off of it instead, which it just helps. But I just wanted to share that with you guys. And remember, I came up with that myself. And I also came up with it a long time ago. So, you know, there's no way that anybody could try to hit me with that. Like, oh, man, you know, nah, man. Like, all my ideas are original. And I try to share that with you guys so much. It's original, dude. Like, it comes from Team King of Games. Remember us. Don't forget our team. Moving on with the extra deck, we played 2 Calamities, broken.